Welcome to Seth's Daily Podcast. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. I want to thank you guys for subscribing. Seth's Daily Podcast is sponsored by WKRO, Akron's 80s, 90s, and more, and the all-new Mix 614 Columbus Throwbacks and more, launching April 1st. Follow us on Facebook and soon on the True Social. And also, Seth's Daily Podcast is on WKRO, Akron's 80s, 90s, and more every Sunday at 8 a.m. I'm blessed enough to have a show on there. I want to appreciate them having Seth's Daily Podcast on their wonderful station. And we're blessed enough to have the podcast host of Beyond the Paranormal Podcast. How are you guys doing tonight?
Great. How are you?
Doing great.
Feeling groovy. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, baby.
I'm recovering. So yeah, I'm about 85%. I'm good.
Did you exercise your allergies? Did you do the exorcism? Did you find a young priest and an old priest?
No, I went to the Claritin. I went, oh, Claritin. Oh, yeah, take this away.
Well, I'm glad it worked.
I couldn't talk for 2 days.
Now, John, how did you come up with this podcast, man? And how did you put you and your co-host together on one podcast and said, these are the co-hosts I want for my show?
I'll jump in first, though, before you get to John. We've literally been talking about this for about 7-8 years. And we kind of just waited on time because, John's busy. He does all those other podcasts and he works too. And I work and have kids. And, it was just a process of getting us in to where we were able to do it. And I'm so thankful that we finally did.
Yes, ma'am. And too, I was a paranormal researcher for 6 to 7 years, and then I left, and I kind of got the itch back again. And I just one day I was at work, I was like, I'm just going to do this. Forget it. Let's just go, jump in and hit it wide open. And that's what I did. And I knew Rihanna would do it, so I messaged her, and then, Crit, I was like, got to get my sis to do this if she wants to.
We've been talking about spooky stuff since we were kiddos, like in high
Mm-hmm.
school, like just talking about like whatever creepy thing came along, because there's a lot of creepy stuff in Eastern Kentucky that happens. So
yeah,
we had plenty to talk about.
Yeah, the place where I grew up, I lived at Hellier all through the high school. And if you're familiar, there was the whole documentary series about the goblins and the aliens and abductions and things like that from my area. So I kind of just grew up around it, and I've always been into it. And I raised my kiddo right on her 9th birthday. What she asked for was an investigation at Waverly Hills, and I have pictures of her standing in the places and side by side, and I edited it where Zach Bagans would have been right there, just so it's just kind of always been something I've been into, and me and John have always talked about it, and a lot of different places that we've investigated, and we just kind of get on and run our mouths about it.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely got some things coming up. There's 2 locations I definitely want to go to. Like I said, this is kind of like itching me back in to do some more research, but it's just going to be, and I hate to say the pay to play places, but if somebody can help us get out in these places, hey, we'll do it. But no residentials, no nothing like that for me anymore. I just want to do this just for the research and for fun, man. Just to go out and hang out with my friends and just relax. To me, all this stuff is relaxing. I know other people are just on hinge about it, but if you're on that fence, then maybe it's not for you, and it's totally understandable. For a lot of people, it's not. But for us, it is. Like Crit, she don't want to go on the investigations with us because it freaks her out, and I totally understand.
Well, I mean, it's more like an energy thing. Like I'm sensitive to that stuff, so it just weighs me down, makes me feel terrible. I've had a lot of negative experiences with those kind of I used to do the investigations and things back in the day. And as I've gotten older and more crunchy granola hippie, it's just a whole lot harder for me to protect my energy when I go to those places. So, I'm like, I'll just talk to you guys about it when you get back. We'll just talk about it.
I'm the same way. I don't like using the word medium or things like that, but I'm always, every day I see something or hear something or just experience a feeling. And so when I go to places like that, I am very open to that energy. And there are people that have literally just learned to shut that off so much that those are the people that are like, oh, that's phony. The ghosts aren't real. You have those people because a lot of people are raised that way. And if you internally have learned to kind of shut that off, I had to work really hard. I used to be so much more visual with paranormal. Like I was a very little girl, and I remember telling my grandmother about a little boy floating through the living room, and she had to sit me down and tell me, you know, you can tell me when you see stuff like that, but you can't tell other people that because they're going to think you're crazy. So for a long time, I kind of shut that off. And I've just recently back through the last 5-6 years or so, been working really, really hard on trying to just open it back, because for me, it's not about finding a ghost or whatever. I just want to be educated. I want to know if there's a parallel, if, you know, when you die, your spirit hangs out for a minute. I want to know that stuff. It's not about, for me, just finding something spooky or, you know, being all Halloweeny girl like I am, don't get me wrong, but a lot of it for me is the education of it. I really just want to know. I want to know what's out there. I want to know what happens. And yeah, when I say paranormal investigation, I'm literally interested in the investigative part of it. I want to investigate. So yeah, girl, throw me out them places. I'll go. Leave me alone in a dark hallway where people have been punched, kicked, scratched, whatever. I'll go call them out. It's cool.
And I feel like, sorry, Seth, I don't mean to take up all your time here, man. But I know this is your show, not ours. It's your show.
Oh, you're good, bro.
But and me personally, I just feel like there's just too much equipment out there. You could overwhelm yourself with equipment. I mean, you could set up for 3 hours before you even get to start investigating. That's crazy. You don't need that. So
I think when people fall onto equipment, it's because they don't either have, like what me and Crit were talking about, how you feel the energy or whatever. If you feel something is there, like if you're sitting in a room and you see someone there, you're going to talk to them. But it's like if you're sitting in an empty room and you turn on an equipment piece and you wait for an EMF detector to go off. If there's no one there, there's no one there. If you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. I think that falling back on equipment is when you don't have that internal
intuition. Yeah.
I think that if you don't have it, you don't have it, and that you can be really falsely led with a lot of the equipment going around here. So,
and you see it on TV by your favorite ghost hunters that you watch, your favorite paranormal shows.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think it's super cool when they set up their spirit boxes, or what are they called? Like the Vox boxes, where they scan frequencies and all that.
It's SB7.
Yeah. But I don't think I could trust that completely either, because it's like CB radios are out there. Mm-hmm. How many cell phones are out in the world? Do you know how many frequencies are literally going around you all the time? Yes, I think it's super cool. And sometimes it does correlate to what they're going into. But come on, bro. Everybody's sitting with a cell phone in their hand, sending frequencies, sending words.
It makes for good TV though, right? Like we're all super entertained watching it. But as far as it being legit, I completely agree with you, because it's like that's all a distraction, you know, it's all a distraction from what's really going on and trying to create something maybe that isn't there. So like I
think that's definitely when you get into the entertainment portion of it versus an actual paranormal investigator. Give me some evidence over 10 minutes of somebody going, oh wow, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Like, show me something legit, bro. Oh my god.
I want to hear the CV talk come across. Like, you got your ears on there again. Where you at? I'm over here at the truck stop eating a donut, catching Big 10-4.
And then Smokey and the Bandit takes off in the background. That'd be great.
So, Seth, did you have a question, or are we just really taking over your whole podcast, bro?
No, you're good. But what you said is exactly right. I talked to Dave Speaks, who's been on a bunch of TV shows. He's been on Ghost Nation, which is the old ghost hunting, old ghost hunters show. There's some of them cast members on that show now. And he said Ghost Nation is the most realistic show that you can get. And I believe he said Ghost Adventures is no, it wasn't him. It was either him or somebody else told me that Ghost Adventures is like 100% fake.
But
Yeah.
I mean, it's what you watch.
Now,
is,
I think it's cool. Do I sit and watch Ghost Adventures? Absolutely. We all do. I definitely want to at some point in my life go to Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum and see all the cool crap he's got. I definitely want to do that. And I mean, I'm totally jealous of the opportunities that he has and the things that they do. I would absolutely die to do that. But again, entertainment realm, it's on TV for a reason.
but exactly, it's entertainment. It's TV. Now, there's a group that I watch on YouTube that I really tremendously would suggest everybody go out and watch them. Is Paranormal Quest out of West Virginia. These boys are legit, and I would love for us to do an investigation with these guys. They do it exactly the way I would do it. Set up their equipment, start investigating, things like that. It's not. Just trust me. Go watch them on YouTube, Paranormal Quest. You'll like them because I do. I tremendously sit here and watch their episodes, and it's not like you're watching stuff on TV, but like we said, TV's for TV, and that's what it's for. But there are some good ones out there. I won't say they're all bad or anything like that. It's just that it's.
And
TV.
I won't say that all their evidence is spoofed. I've seen some things on Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, whatever, that in my own recollection, I would agree that, hey, that's evidence, But again, if you're in these places that are confirmed to have activity, yay for you. You happen to be there when something happened. So,
Yeah.
And I feel like they maybe start out with better intentions, and then as time goes on and the pressure is on to get more viewers or at least stay relevant, then you've got them, kind of maybe amping up some of the stuff that they're seeing, fluffing it up,
there's so many times where they're like, oh, there's a shadow, blah, blah, blah. And they'll zoom in and even like draw the little circle on the screen. And I'm like, bro, there's nothing there.
Bro, listen, bro.
But yeah, David speaks. He said that not just Ghost Adventures, but 95% of all the shows, Bigfoot, UFOs, all of them are for entertainment reasons, and that's why he would rather just do like normal investigation stuff than be on a TV show. He's been on 1,000 TV shows, and John, I know you want him on your show, and I'll help you get that interview for sure.
Sure, yeah, I appreciate it, man. It's like I said, we want people that are in this for the right reasons and legit. Yeah, we don't want anybody that is just in it for themselves. You know what I'm saying? And I've ran across a lot of people like that, and it sucks, but it happens. They're out there. You move on from it, and just try to make things better.
Oh, you guys have had somebody on that is in it for the money?
No, I'm just talking about like from my experiences.
Oh,
and people I've met, and I've met a
No,
lot.
we highly filter who we spend our time speaking to.
Yeah. Yeah.
You really start to figure some of that stuff out once you start hitting some of the convention circuits and going to, those kinds of things. Then you're like, oh, wow, you want $100 for me to get your autograph. And you've, like, I don't think so. That was kind of the experience. And I don't mind to name names. That's kind of the experience I had with Ghost Hunters. Not Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, Zach Bagans, those fellas. They were at Scarefest a few years back, and I'll tell you, it was not a positive experience. There were quite a few people who thought he was pretty rude. Aaron, everybody thought he was cool as hell. But
Aaron, I have signatures from him. He's autographed books for my daughter, Nick Groff. Super friendly dude. Love his shows. I feel like a lot of the reason that he left Ghost Adventures was to be more legit, and I highly support like his Paranormal Lockdown. And he's got another show right now, but it's only on BBC. It's European. I don't think you probably have to pay to stream it, but it's something Portal to Hell, I think, something like that. But I love his investigations. I love his technique. And there's been investigations he's done on his show where he's like, nothing happened. And I feel like to be able to do that instead of like spoofing something, kind of gives you more credentials in my own experience. Like if I would rather someone be like, this was a total bust, nothing happened, than sit in makeup and be like, oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that? But yeah, love Nick Groff. Have so many signed stuff from him. Super sweet dude. John sent me to, what was that? In Frankfurt one time. We went to go.
Was it Crypticon?
Yes, Crypticon. And I talked with Nick there. Super friendly dude. He was so nice to my daughter. Signed a couple t-shirts. And ever since then, he like put her on a mailing list and like sent her a book for her birthday with an autograph in it. And like, yeah, super cool dude.
The coolest person. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Seth.
Oh no, that's fine, man. Who's the coolest person?
For me, on the paranormal side and sci-fi side, as I call it, was what you see on TV is what you get with him, and face to face is Josh Gates. I mean,
Oh yeah.
super cool guy. I mean, he was just, when I met him at Scarefest, he was actually poking my brain and asking me about things around here and stuff. So I just laid it all out to him. And he said that when he was at Scarefest, now this is a very long time ago when he was there the first time, he told me he was in Kentucky to do some type of research for the show he was doing. But it never did come about, though. So I don't know if it was a little UFO story from the Green Goblins, the fight, or what it was. But Josh Gates is coolest guy ever. Coolest guy ever.
I completely agree with you, John. Like he's really cool. And he's like, you can tell that he's like really passionate about it. And like he's a total nerd, which I absolutely love. Like he nerds out over stuff. Like he's not lost like that magic or that, excitement about what he's doing, and you can't say that for a lot of folks. So I think that's pretty rad.
We're going to hunt for the chupacabra.
Yeah, he gets so psyched and it's infectious. It makes you want to watch the show because he's so excited about it.
That's a great show for sure. There is a Bigfoot guy from Kentucky. I'm not gonna say his name. I probably just gave it away, but I probably just gave it away. But I have interviewed him, and he's a complete douchebag. Just gonna be honest with you.
I'm sorry.
That's gonna give it away. That's gonna give it away. I know they're gonna know who it is, but there's a lot of people that have had on off camera say, you interviewed that guy, he's a complete douchebag. And I'm like, I agree.
It happens, man, unfortunately. But you move forward, you move on, and you learn from your mistakes, and you find out the people that you want to interview and go from there, man.
He's a big name too.
Well, he's gonna attract that bad Sasquatch juju if he goes out there like that, douchebagging it up. So it's like you don't want to do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't be squatching that don't need to be squatching, man.
Definitely. Now, for each one of you, this could be a different person, but who is your favorite person that each one of you has interviewed?
Oh, Jesus. Man, like on my music side or paranormal side? Because I got all kinds.
Just all interviews.
Mine should be like
I'll jump in real first because I already kind of talked about it, was Nick Groff, but go on, John. Sorry about it.
No, you're fine. You go ahead. I'm still thinking. I mean, I just can't choose one. It's like a Pringles can. I can't just eat just one or Lay's potato chip. I can't do it. Oh my God.
Well, it wasn't an interview for me. It was somebody I met, and it was John Zaffis. And he's like a big paranormal investigator from way back when. And he's done a lot of work with, you see him like in the background of a lot of shows, but he's not really on the forefront. But he has done a lot of stuff. He was involved in like so many things through the 80s and 90s. I think he's in semi-retirement now, but like he was so down to earth and such a wealth of knowledge. And he's connected with so many people in the paranormal field. Like I just thought he was just like the coolest guy ever. And he just talks very plain and, like he's not trying to fluff it up. I mean, he's lived through this. So it was pretty cool to see him.
Man, I'm just going to throw these out here. There's several. I just can't pick just one, Seth. I'm sorry, man. Music side's Frank Bello from Anthrax. I've interviewed him several times. He's always been an awesome guy with me. Wayne Static, before he passed away, was an awesome interview.
So jealous.
Odor Sarungus, Dave Brokey, from Guar before he passed away. I mean, Zach Wild, I've interviewed Zach Wild. Oh, I couldn't see, my mind goes blank here now. Should have had all this crap wrote down, but I didn't. All right, so he just recently passed away, and he was in Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpse. See,
Sid.
Hey,
yeah, I've interviewed Sid. He was really nice, and plus Josh Gates, actually Josh Gates was awesome. Who else? Crap. Oh, dude, I got his name over here.
put your thinking cap on.
See, this happens to me every time. I'm gonna have all this stuff wrote down everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to come back to you later, man, about this guy. But he was in Halloween, the original Halloween. And it wasn't the guy that we're probably thinking about, who the shape was, not Nick Castle, not Tony Moran. It was good Lord. That's pretty bad. I got the Halloween shirt on, and yeah, okay. I'll skip this part. But yeah, that dude too. Good Lord. And I've been doing this for over 12 years, guys. I mean, come on, give me a break.
You had a pretty good list going, though. I mean, you had quite a few people named off there, so I think you get points for that.
Thank you, Liz. I try.
I mean, that track list right there, man, it's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've worked my butt off. I mean, you know, there's the people that's helped me along the way, and I've definitely worked my butt off for sure. And I don't take it, you know, lightly, because I'm very blessed and very, 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 very lucky to get to do this. So I don't take it for granted.
I've only been doing it a year, man, and my list is blew my mind. I mean, I've interviewed Mike Goldberg from the UFC.
Wasn't Gilbert?
Nah, it was Goldberg. He says, "Here we go."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. He gets away from UFC. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm a big UFC fan too, man. So it was crazy having somebody that you've listened to when you was a little kid, like right in front of you, like right in front of your face, like talking to you about their favorite fights that they've commentated and everything, man. It's definitely crazy.
So let me ask you this on that point. Did you fanboy out, or did you try to keep your composure, or did you just say, "Oh God," and just let it all out, man?
Both.
Yeah.
At first fanboy out, but he's gonna be back on in March too. And this is the first time I'm talking about it and announcing it. He's gonna be back on in March. I've interviewed Joe Ted from Discovery Show Dual Survival. He's a great guy. Him and Mike Goldberg are two great guys.
I'll tell you a story, man, and this is a legit truth. The very first big interview that I got to do for Bod's Mayhem Hours, actually Doyle from the Misfits.
Yes, I love
That
this.
is so cool.
This story is absolutely hilarious. I could not call him. My friend Mike Couch, my brother from another mother, Mike Couch. I've known him ever since the Waverly days, because he was a tour guide there, and me and him has been friends ever since. But I had to have Mike call him, because Doyle emailed me back, said, "Call me and let's set up a date and time." And I was like, "I can't call
Doyle."
So I messaged Mike and I was like, "Bro,
Need some assistance.
I said, yeah." I was like, "I need your help." I was like, "Can you call Doyle and set this up for me?" He's like, "Well, he wanted you to call, and that's not going to look good to me call for you." I was like, "You just say that you are my guy. You know, everybody's got their guy. You are my guy.
The phone guy, the guy that sits at the computer, like Spider-Man has one of those."
You call and you set all this up." So I tried, and I mean, my hand was like this when I was trying to call me. I was shaking.
You got the vapors. You're going to pass out like Scarlett O'Hara.
Oh man, that was just horrible. So mine got a hold of him and set it up, and I told her, I was like, "Man, I'm sorry, I didn't call you. I should have called you, but I was just a nervous wreck." And he's like, "Why?" I was like, "Well, you're one of the."
Because you're Doyle.
Yeah,
Duh.
You're Doyle for the Misfits, man. I can't tell you how much.
I have my like little Misfits blanket on right now. I thought that was really cool.
Well, I tell you. Oh my God. Anyway, I want that blanket. So I told him, and he's just all cool about it. He's like, don't worry about it, man. He's like, call me anytime, talk with me, whatever. I was like, oh wow. But I've had my fair share of interviews where I've had to pull like I'm pulling teeth to get answers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you think you're getting like a good 20-25 minute interview, and it's like 10 minutes. Wow. That's
I can hear the clock ticking in the background.
yeah,
Like,
it's like 20 questions answered in 10 minutes. I was like, wow.
Thanks for
Okay.
them big one worders.
Exactly. But hey, it's all worth it. To me, all this is worth it. I don't do this just for me. I do this for everybody who enjoys what I can bring to them. And I hope everybody enjoys it. So that's why I do it. So
Yeah. There definitely ain't no money in this.
No.
no. And I don't care about that. I don't. I mean, financially, I mean, I'm sure everybody wish they were better off than what we are right now, but
Mm-hmm.
this is my outlet. This has been my outlet since, I don't know, since grade school. So I figured one day I would turn to music for something. So there's more stories behind this about my whole ordeal. There's a story that Christina don't even know that would blow her mind.
Lord.
She would hurt me.
It's way back in the closet, huh? Like, what's going on? We're going to have to talk after this. What's going on? I got questions.
Yeah, we'll have a power. Well, I'm just going to drop it down to you guys. On to you guys. I think Rihanna knows this already, but Sherry knows all this stuff just about. Myself and Daniel Johnson are creating a podcast that's a Metallica fan-oriented podcast called "For Whom the Podcast Tolls," and it's presented by Bod's Mayhem Hour. So, I mean, we're just going to be talking about Metallica from the beginning all the way up to today, albums, what songs should be on albums versus albums, things like that, and what albums meant to us. And there's one specific album that when we get to talk about it, it's going to be, I don't know if I can even talk about it. That's how much this album saved me.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I ain't let Seth talk here for an hour. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
Nah, man. This is you guys are the guests, man. You talk as long as you want to, man.
Go ahead, man.
You got a question?
Thank you.
Oh man. But how did you come up with podcasts, particularly on just that topic?
Paranormal?
Metallica?
No, Metallica.
Well, like I said, I mean, I've been a Metallica fan ever since I was a wee little bit of bod, little tiny thing. And ever since, funny enough, I was watching MTV's Countdown when I was in grade school, and I was a huge Guns N' Roses fan. And I got so mad because Metallica had beat Guns N' Roses out of the #1 spot. Guns N' Roses had Patience out at that time. And here comes Metallica with One. I'm like, yeah, but Guns N' Roses, yeah. Love is love, 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 love. It's an awesome song. And here comes Metallica, like, that kills my throat. I'm going, no. Like, that's like slowly that song One just consumed me. I was like, Guns N' Roses, what?
Mm-hmm. I have a very similar experience. Like, I was maybe 4 or 5, and I had an older brother 3 years older than me. And I just remember going in his room, and all I had kind of been exposed to was, Nana's church music and Daddy's bluegrass. So up until that point, music was nothing to me. And I remember walking in my brother's room and being like, what is that? And again, I was little, and I would just constantly be like, play Exit Light. But it was Enter Sandman, obviously. And that was my very first introduction to metal, and it turned me into the little metal head that I am today. Yeah.
Wait to hear Cortina's. I know hers right now.
What are you talking about? Well, of course, you exposed me to the Misfits way back when, like hanging out in that room right there. Like we were, yeah. I'll never forget you put the headphones on me, and I was like, yes, like where has this been my whole life? You know, like this is awesome. But in terms of like music, like getting exposed to anything like metal or it was actually the movie The Crow when it came out, and the soundtrack for The Crow that completely turned my head like that. I think I was like maybe 11 or 12 when that came out, and I remember that year my mom was brokenhearted because I dressed as Brandon Lee from The Crow, and she's like still thinking, you know, she's gonna want to be a little princess or a witch, and I'm all there all gothed up. She's like, what happened? How could we watch that movie?
And Kratina is searching for the famous Tori Amos box set that is out there.
Hey, you know what? She actually just released an LP. So, and it's like signed and everything. So it's so funny you said that. I think my Instagram could hear it because it's like now like showing me ads and stuff for Tori's new thing. And I was like, yes, but yeah, I still love Tori Amos. Like that was my emo stuff, you know, like that's Tori, you know, she's the one who broke my heart.
Yeah, but like getting back to the whole Metallica deal, after I heard one, I was like, man, there's got to be more stuff. This can't just be the only album that they have. There's got to be more stuff prior to this. So I had a friend, he's like, man, come up. My brother's got some more Metallica that I know you'll like. And I was like, all right. Heck yeah. So after school one day, I was just moseying up to his apartment, and lo and behold, there's Master of Puppets. And I'll never forget the first song he played me was The Thing That Should Not Be. And I was like, oh my God. And not just God, I went, God, oh my God. Because I was like, man, just let me be. And then I had to have that album. I went straight the next day and bought the cassette tape, and I was like, yeah, this is it.
How did you feel about the SFO collab?
The what?
The San Francisco Orchestra collab with Metallica.
I love it. I love any band that can, you know, any band that can branch out like that, especially like Metallica and what they've done with their music to turn it that way.
Oh my God, I love it. Like I generally play that probably 2-1 more than I do the OGs.
Yeah.
It'd make a great soundtrack to somebody's life, you know.
Oh, I'm right here.
Seth, we'll return the show back to you, man. We're sorry.
You're fine, man. Honestly, I don't even know what you guys are talking about when it comes to like Metallica and all that stuff. I'm a rap head. I've always loved rap music growing up and stuff.
Okay, listen, I have a tattoo for XXXTentacion.
It's one of my favorite rappers.
Oh man, me too. I have the dots that he had on his face. Do you know what the representation was?
What's that?
That was for every time he got shot in the hood and survived, he got a dot tattooed. So he had been in a drive-by and a heist and a burglary 3 times, and he had gotten tattoos for each time that he survived and lived and kept going. So after he got assassinated, I got that for just representation, I guess. But yeah, I love me some X.
Little known facts with Rihanna Rose.
You could give her own segment, a little known fact.
It's like, and then the little reading rainbow thing comes across the top. The more you know.
That was
That'd be awesome. I would listen to that podcast.
Yeah, that was actually very interesting. I didn't know that. I appreciate you giving me that information.
Yeah, if you look at the pictures, he had them right under his eye. Yeah, I totally believe that was. Do you know the conspiracy theories about that? About X's murder? Oh, well, that would take a whole other hour, but
no.
Next on the Seth show.
Now it's a true crime podcast. This is awesome.
Right? Oh, we're bouncing all over the place. Good Lord.
Yeah, man. Have you guys listened to Tom McDonald? Have you heard of him?
I have not.
No.
One of the best rappers out there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, a rapper. No, not heard of him.
I'm not much into rap. I mean, I like some of the older stuff. I can't say one band because everybody making fun of me, but I do like them a lot. Old school.
If you're talking about ICP, go for it.
No, well, I like a little bit of
You're a
the
juggalo? I didn't know that.
Semi.
I don't put that past Rihanna. I swear. Yeah, this band this rap group got censored a lot, and every album that came out got censored. And
NWA.
no, I do like them though. I do like them, but no, it wasn't NWA. No, they got a song called "Band in USA." That should be a drop right there. Who it could be? I can't say the rest of songs because they're all.
I don't know who it is, man.
This is stuff I can't say it. I'll tell you after the show, man.
Is it old rap?
Yeah, it's old school good stuff though.
That's why I don't know who it is, because I mean I only know who like NWA is and stuff, because they literally have had, I mean, multiple people that is considered some of the best rappers. I mean, of all time.
Dude, I haven't got an Easy E's cassette tape around here somewhere. So
he's considered one of the best rappers ever.
Yep.
Dr. Dre, Ice Cube,
Yes.
before he became an actor.
Yeah.
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 I'd say he's a better actor.
How obsessed with the halftime show this year were you?
I didn't even watch it.
No, you missed Dre.
Yeah, I'm a Drake fan. Like today's rap more. I like Drake. I like Tom McDonald, Kanye.
I hate Drake with a passion.
You hate
Get
Drake
back to
with a
that
passion?
conspiracy theory with X with you later.
Oh Lord, here we go.
My in-laws learned that I knew lyrics to Eminem and Dr. Dre when they were here. They're like, "Oh, didn't know that. Didn't expect that out of you." They're used to me playing like my Nordic throat singing and all that weird shit that I love. So it's like all of a sudden it's like, "Oh yeah, she knows these lyrics. How strange."
Oh my God, here's Crit back there. Her little Harry Potter-esque that she does and all this stuff.
Don't be hating on Potterheads.
No,
I know.
I'm not hating. I'm just saying.
It feels a little like hate.
Muggle.
Well, but listen, and then you hear her dropping a beat back there and all this stuff, and they're like, I could see like, whoa.
I'm what you call eclectic. I don't have any one aesthetic. It's all over the place.
Same.
All right, Seth, it's back to you.
We took his show over with absolute nonsense.
It's been great.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, man, for sure. Just talking about everything. But Rihanna, you said you interviewed Nick Groff. What year was that? Was that when he was on Ghost Adventures?
No, he had just left. He was on. I talked to him a couple times. I talked to him actually the night that Paranormal Lockdown with Katrina Wildman, when they were at Waverly that day. They had slept there that night, and they were going back to do another investigation after they had done interviews and things like that. They took a break in the middle of the day, and we did some photo ops, and I talked to him a minute. But he said that night we were talking about what he'd been seeing or any activity he had experienced, and he said that night he actually slept in the death chute at Waverly Hills, like where they would roll the bodies down because there were just absolutely so many. And I don't know if you know any of the history about that, but a lot of these people had no family, and the coroner would not come every day to get these bodies. So I talked to Tina Mattingly about it. She was there also, but they will kind of give you some information about it and talk about how these bodies, like nobody would come to claim them, and so they would be hauled from this death chute into these just mass graves all over the property. And Nick just rolled out a sleeping bag there and snoozed through the night. So we kind of talked about that a little bit, and just some upcoming things and areas that he was going to go with Paranormal Lockdown. I did not meet Katrina though. She didn't come out to do the photo ops and things like that. But yeah, Nick Groff, super cool dude. I think he's totally legit, and I'll give him my support.
Didn't you say you had a similar experience there? Like you could have gone to sleep at Waverly. Isn't that what you said in the previous podcast?
Oh yeah, totally. When we went to Waverly Hills, it was, I guess I psyched myself out because what you see on TV and the anticipation of getting there, and you're like, everything's playing in your head, like, oh, I hope this comes out, oh, I hope this happens, I hope I see this, and man.
Now, speaking of the death chute, as like Crit was talking about, just being like an energy magnet and kind of feeling presences that way. I could not. I have been to the death chute a couple times, but the very first time I went, I couldn't make it all the way down. I got about halfway down, and if I hadn't have turned around and come up when I did, I think I would have passed out
Oh wow.
just from the overwhelming like pressure that I had like on me. I started to black out a little bit. I had to come back up. So that was my experience with the death chute at Waverly.
I never had
I
anything like that.
definitely couldn't have slept there. It really
Yeah.
messed with me.
Yeah, like I didn't get to go to the death tunnel because that place will wear you out of walking all over that.
It's a huge property.
I'm telling you, you better be fit and ready to walk because it will wear you out. And I tapped out. It's like I give. Waverly, you kicked my ass. I'm done. But yeah, the only thing that, I mean, paranormal wise, that for me personally, I smell like fresh bread baking, and that was it. But anything can trigger that. I mean, those smells that to me, sticking to the walls, if that makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
and then certain way the wind blows or whatever, and it was rainy that night, maybe the dampness made that come back. You know what I mean? I always try to figure out something on what could possibly cause whatever's
Bro,
going.
I don't think that anybody been breaking bread in a long enough time for you to be smelling it off the wall.
I know that, bro.
Yeah, that's not a typical mold smell.
No.
Okay, moving on.
Anyway,
We've even talked about mold.
yeah, honey.
Yeah, there we go.
Mold is the real terror.
And dogs.
Yeah, my husband's supposed to be watching them, but that's why I keep muting myself because he's obviously not doing that.
He's mad because he's like,
Well,
I
yeah, I
want in
got
the room.
two cats and a dog right by me. They're being good though. They're napping
For now.
for now. All right, guys, it's 9:52. I'm gonna have to roll out. Seth, I so much appreciate you. It was so nice to talk to you. Totally can collab anytime. Just holler at me.
Absolutely. Thanks for being on.
No problem at all. John Crit, I'll holler at you later and message me. I'm out.
I tell you.
Bye.
Okay.
Did okay.
Just drop the mic. Peace.
Gone.
But yeah, man, I mean, you guys have been doing podcasts forever, man. And who actually inspired you to get into podcasting, John?
I first got into online radio, and that was Terry Thacker. He got me into online radio because he's like, I think you should come on and do online radio with me, man. You do really good with it. I was like, yeah, I was really hesitant at the time, but then started thinking about the whole ordeal with the whole Metallica deal that saved me. And I was like, you know what? I want to do this just to test out and see. And so I did online radio with Uber City Radio for a very long time. And I went from there to actually owning Uber City Radio and doing my online radio show. And then just got to the point where it was just me on there and people didn't want to come on there and do any shows or anything. I was like, you know what? That's fine. So I stopped and then I said, you know what? I'm just going to do podcasting. And I've been doing podcasting ever since. And plus podcasting does give you the freedom to do what you want and, anytime that you want to, things like that. So that's what started off for me. And I'm still going strong today.
Absolutely. And what about you, Chris?
John. He's the one who got me into podcasting. I mean, I love listening to podcasts. I've been an avid listener for years. I love the Old Gods of Appalachia. I don't know if you've ever listened to that one. It's really cool. It's a horror anthology podcast. They're fantastic. And it's set like in Kentucky, North Carolina, Tennessee area. And it's this whole world they've created with these like mythic gods that supposedly hide in the hills and the mountains of Appalachia. And I'm telling you, it's freaking creepy. Like there's a lot of times I went on in here, I got my vibe room going and it just completely, you know, freaks you out. But like when John was like, hey, I'm going to do this paranormal podcast. And I was like, yes, sign me up. Like for one, I get to see him regularly. You know, it's hard to make that work otherwise because I live in Lexington. I'm not back there anymore. So it's a way that we kind of get to connect each week because he's my brother from another mother.
Hello.
And, yes. And like we've known each other for years. So that's great. But then talking about the spooky stuff, like that's what I absolutely love. Horror saved my life, like horror and, you know, horror movies, anything spooky, things like that. Like that's what I've always been drawn to since I was a little kid, which, you know, I blame it on my mom let me read like the Amityville Horror when I was like 10 years old. And then it just kind of went on from there. You know, Jody the pig monster, like that's one of the most visceral images that I can imagine from reading as a little kid. So being able to hop on and talk about spooky stuff with my bro and Rihanna is like killer. Like, and we get to talk to these really interesting people. It's amazing.
And rounding out with Rihanna with us, man, I think that's just the bookend for us. That's just that's our stone pretty much. She calms us in a way, if that makes sense. You know, she's there to help out a lot with us. And I appreciate it totally, for sure.
Yeah, she's a pistol too. She's fun to talk to.
Oh yeah.
You know, she's got great stories. Like she's got a lot of energy. You know, her makeup is always chef's kiss. You know, like it's great.
She owned it tonight. She's like, hey, owned it.
Yeah, man, you three seem like a great team, and it's good that you guys get along, man. It's hard to find a good co-host, definitely. I've had a few co-hosts that well, not a few, just one other. I had one co-host that we used to. He used to co-host Seth's Daily Podcast, and it didn't work out, unfortunately. But now I do a podcast with multi-genre music, man, and we do our own music show, and it's going out great. And we definitely go good together, and it's good to finally have a co-host that you just get, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like once you got it and you know it, man, that just stay with it. And you know, that dude, I've subscribed to his YouTube channel, and YouTube bounce off each other great. And like I said, man, when you know it, you know it. So stay with it.
Definitely, man. He's a good dude, and I'm definitely appreciate him co-hosting my show as well, man. The Line Before podcast, yeah. I got a radio show once a week every Sunday at 8 a.m. Then I got Seth's Daily Podcast, man. I'm also co-hosting on the radio show on Here's Your Bubblegum, which I'm very excited about as well.
That's awesome, man.
All the shows I do. And the Solar Flare.
Yeah. The goose is loose, boys and gals. Goose is a great guy.
I missed that podcast. I had a work emergency that night. I hate that I missed that podcast. That made me so sad.
It's on Spotify. You can go check it out on Spotify.
Yeah, I was listening to it. I was actually I looked him up too on TikTok. I know you're not a big fan of the tickety tack talk, John, but like I saw him on there too. It's pretty. Well, I can't help it. It's entertaining. Like it's not me. Technically, it's my dog's account. I post videos of my dogs doing weird stuff.
There was the signature line. It's not me, you know.
It's my dogs.
Yeah.
That's how far my neuroses goes.
This has been really cool.
So you don't do TikTok, man?
Nay, sir. No. Mm-mm.
Why's that?
I don't know. Honestly, I just don't know. I just don't do it. I don't want to get on there and sing, and I don't know. I could get on there and do some crazy stuff, but I want people to take me legit what I got going on. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I can have some fun with it though, for sure.
I just post.
You can do little clips. Yeah, you can just do clips of your shows and stuff too, like just to get it out there. Just FYI, you don't gotta hate on TikTok. Come on now, John.
Okay.
I think people would love you on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Bodfather.
That is right. It's full show.
One and only.
Now, John, do you know who Bowling Cox is?
Yeah, he is he comes on Goose's podcast a lot.
Yep. I think you and him need to do a show together. That would be great.
Let's line it up. We'll do something. We'll have him on as a guest or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll do
he's
something.
hilarious.
Sounds good to me, man.
Yeah, he's hilarious, man. That guy right there is funny as hell. Yeah, man. Definitely appreciate y'all being on.
No problem. Well, we'll
Yeah,
come back
it's
on
been
here
fun. It's been a
anytime
good
you want,
time.
man. Anytime you want, you have us on here. We'll come back on.
Absolutely. What upcoming shows do you guys got coming up, and who's the guests you guys got going?
As far as guest wise, this Tuesday coming up for Beyond the Paranormal podcast is going to be Mark Tabata. He's a paranormal researcher and evangelist. This guy is very, 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 very smart, along with being a preacher, things like that, and plus helping people understand the paranormal, get rid of paranormal things like that. He's very, very good. And we're on every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So we're on YouTube, Twitch, and we're on our Facebook page, Beyond the Paranormal Podcast. So you can't miss it, folks. Just subscribe to us and help us out.
And Mark we had him, he was a stand-in for us a couple weeks ago because we had somebody who wasn't able to make it. And he was just the most entertaining guy. Like, he's a great storyteller. So it's going to be an awesome episode on Tuesday. Like, it's like he could just take off with the show. Like, he's amazing to talk with.
I can just say, here's Mark Tabata, and he can just take it right on. He's good. He's golden.
Definitely great to have a guest on that can talk away and can answer questions and make it an hour and a half or hour interview.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, man.
Sure.
Definitely. I appreciate you guys being on, man. And this has been an interview with Beyond the Paranormal Podcast. I want to thank them for being on. You have a good night, and God bless.